Reactive microservices architecture. Reactive microservices architecture combine the principle of reactive system. So we have reactive architecture and we have microservices architecture, right? Some actions are, some events are happening, so we need instant reaction. That was the whole reactive architecture, right? Microservices architecture was small modules, independent in nature, not relying on other modules, and loosely coupled with other modules, and highly cohesive within itself. Those are the microservices architecture pattern. Now we are combining these two patterns. So what it will do, reactive microservices architecture combines the principle of reactive system with microservices architecture to create applications that are responsive, resilient, elastic, and message driven. This approach enables organizations to build systems that can efficiently handle variable loads and user demands in real time. Let's see the key characteristics of this architecture. So it's reactive microservices. So of course, it's microservices based. Applications are composed of small independent services, each focused on a specific business capability, allowing for modularity and easier management. Then asynchronous communication. Services communicate through asynchronous message passing, promoting loose coupling and enabling system to react to events without blocking. Message driven approach is being used. Event driven. The architecture is designed to respond to events, allowing services to react to changes in state or incoming data streams in real time. Resilience. Each microservice is built to handle failures gracefully, often employing patterns like circuit breaker and retries to maintain functionality. So for example, if we are using this message driven or event driven approach, let's take the example of SQS. AWS provides this SQS feature where you can create an event, put it in SQS, which is simple queue service, and then this event will be taken by the subscriber, right? So because of some technical issue, if this event failed, the subscriber could not pick this event, there are retries we can configure. So for example, 3-time retries can be, because otherwise that event might be lost, right? So those options are there. Elastic scalability. Services can automatically scale in response to demand, ensuring optimal performance under varying loads. Let's see the benefits of this architecture. Enhanced responsiveness. The architecture provides quick responses to user interactions, improving user experiences, especially for applications requiring real-time processing. Improved fault tolerance. Services can continue operating even if some components fails, enhancing overall system reliability, because we are talking about microservices architecture. Those are independent in nature. So of course, if one service fails and others are still independent in nature, so they will work. Independent deployment. Microservices can be developed, deployed, and scaled independently, facilitating agile development practices and continue delivery. Resource optimization. By scaling only the necessary services, resource utilization is improved, reducing the operational cost. Let's see the use case of this architecture. Real-time data processing, because of course it's reactive, right? Reactive means real-time use cases are always applicable for this. Real-time data processing, ideal for applications that require immediate response, such as financial trading system, online gaming, IoT applications. Effective in IoT scenarios where devices generate and respond to events continuously, and streaming services, of course. So all the use cases whatever we had for the reactive one are also applicable for this architecture. So this architecture is particularly beneficial for modern applications that demand agility, responsiveness, resilience, and by leveraging the strengths of both reactive system and microservices, organizations can build robust solutions that adapt to changing conditions and user requirements effectively.